What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing 10-day lashes from a brand called Moitié Cosmetics. A couple of weeks, months back, I reviewed Lashify, and they're basically just like long-term false lashes. They don't last quite as long as individual lash extensions, and you can do them at home as opposed to going into a salon, but they do or are supposed to last longer than your daily false lashes using either glue adhesive or magnets. So that's what I'm going to be going through here in the video. The styles that I've tried, everything you get in it, and one kind of major mistake that I made here. Like truly $10 is the difference between having an amazing experience with these and having a more messy and painful one. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I want to start with the 10-day lash starter kit, which is probably, if you've seen any ads for Moitié in your Instagram or Facebook feed, this is probably what you've seen, and it's what I bought right off the bat because it's relatively affordable, especially compared to systems like Lashify. With the starter set, you get one full set of lashes. There's nothing in here besides my used lashes that I want to show you close-ups of so you can kind of see what they look like after wear. You also get the adhesive, which comes in this little bottle right here, along with a little red cap that it did not dawn on me. What it's used for is to unplug the top of it. The adhesive can solidify up there. And so you just use that to unplug it and get your adhesive going. And then they also give you the special tweezers that are slightly curved and pointed and are supposed to help you pick up your lashes and apply them on your lash line. What is not included in this set that Moitié also sells is a foaming lash prep, basically just a cleanser, I think, a remover, something to dissolve the adhesive, and then a setting spray. So if you want to cure or make your lashes dry faster, they have a spray that comes in a little atomizer that you can buy as well. None of those things are included in this set. They have other sets where those come in, or you can buy them individually, but at face value, this seemed like all you need, especially given my experience from other lash sets that I've tried. With any of the sets that they offer, you can pick your own lash style, and Moitié has three. One that is the most natural, one that I believe is called soft glam, and then one that is major glam or maximum glam. I forget what they call it, but it's basically the most dramatic kind of lash you can get from them, and there are three different kinds. I am wearing the middle one right now, the soft glam, but the first set that I got was the natural, I believe is what it's called. Basically the most natural looking one, which is these. They are separated individually, kind of like a Lashify or a Kiss Falscara, where they've cut up a strip of lashes so that you can apply them in sections of 5, or they've broken them up into 5 sections so you can apply those individually from your outer corner to your inner corner, and this is how they're supposed to go on your eyes. They say to hold this up in front of a mirror, and this will go on your right eye, and then this one will go on your left eye, just for orientation purposes. And for the sake of comparing them side by side, here is the middle glam, I guess, the soft glam versus the natural side by side. So the second these arrived, which by the way, shipping was very fast. From the time that I ordered them, it was maybe same day, if not less than 24 hours, that I got a shipment notification, shipped via USPS, and got here very quickly, like within a week, less than a week easily. Got them, and they come with this instruction kit, and they're very similar to a lot of other lash systems out there with a few key differences. So you start by washing your face, taking specific care to remove any excess oil or residual makeup from your eye area, just to make sure you have a totally clean slate. They also recommend that you curl your lashes. I am not a big lash curler to begin with, so I don't even have a lash curler, so I actually skipped that step and have been pretty fine with that. You grab your lash glue, and you can see here the reason that in this set there is a little bit like a smudge up here is because they say that you drop your lash glue into the actual tray where your lashes are, and that is where you will start removing the lashes individually using your tweezers and dip them in the lash glue, and then you want to let them get tacky for about a minute before you apply them. Now this is where I would recommend you, instead of waving your lash around like crazy, let the glue get tacky here on the tray before you even go and dip your lashes in there. And that is one of the major differences here, is that you actually apply your adhesive individually to each of the lashes, dipping them in there, as opposed to other systems where you coat your lashes in a mascara type thing that ends up being your adhesive adhesive. This you dip each of your individual lashes, and then another twist, you actually set these on top of your lashes as opposed to underneath them, which is what other systems have you do. So when you go to set these on top, and they say what you should do is, as you have your lash by the tweezer and you're looking down, you put your lash where you ultimately want to set it, but then before placing it down there, you run it along the length of your lash to kind of coat it in that adhesive. From there, you position it back to where you want it on top of your lashes, let it go with your tweezers, and then clamp down on that lash to sort of fuse it with your lashes. In theory, this sounds wonderful. It sounds just like you would do with other lash systems, but for the fact that you're applying it to the top of your lash as opposed to the bottom. I really struggled with this because this glue, this adhesive, is unlike any of the other mascara-like adhesives in other systems. This is more like a liquid bandage or a nail glue in that when it dries, it becomes like a solid little, almost plasticky feeling sort of thing on your lashes. It does not remain tacky. It doesn't remain soft or malleable like other glues do, and so your lashes kind of move around. When these set in place, they are in place. And so the main issue that I ended up having, and you can see this in my tweezers, is that the lashes would stick to the tweezers. And I don't know another way around this because they have to be a little bit tacky before you apply them. The glue coats the tweezers stick to the lashes. So when I would go to put them on the lash, either they would lift up, like the lashes would get pulled away as I pull the tweezers away, or as the lashes sat on top of my lashes and I would go to crimp them, with the kind of fuse them together. Once I pulled the tweezers away, that would continue to lift up the lashes. So all this is just to say that I found the application process with these to be a lot more time consuming than with any of the other systems I've tried, just because of how tricky this adhesive can be. So if you're familiar with this set, let me know what I'm doing wrong. They have videos out like they use on social media, on their website, of them making it look super duper easy. I have yet to figure out how they do that, but I'm sure there's a trick. I'm sure it's possible. Once they are on though, they last, and that is actually what makes me love these lashes more than any other system out there. There's definitely a caveat, which we'll get to later, that I mentioned at the top of this video, but basically because it dries down into that much more solid, harder kind of texture, these truly are waterproof lashes, like 10-day long wear lashes. The only time I found with this, for the first set I applied before this, the only thing that prevented them from lasting was me not applying enough adhesive, because I was still kind of trying to figure out how much I needed, how tacky it needed to be when I applied. The lashes that fell off had just a thin little coat on them. When they came off, I noticed that it didn't even look like there was any glue on them, and the other lashes lasted beautifully. But, and this is where my first experience kind of goes sour, you absolutely have to have a remover to get these off. You need something to dissolve that hard piece of adhesive attaching these lashes to your own. And I realized that too late. I was like 2 to 3 days into this adventure before I realized why they weren't moving around and how much I loved it. And then I thought, how am I going to get these off? I don't have a remover, and physically peeling them off of my lashes, I mean, my lashes will sooner come out, and some of them have. And that's because one of the first things I found happened with these lashes as they were inching towards that 10-day mark was that the places on the lashes, the edges that had the least amount of adhesive and therefore the strongest bond with my lashes, those lashes would kind of start to separate away from the lash piece. Like they would become detached. They wouldn't fall out. They would just the glue wouldn't hold them. And so that left the tiny amount of strip holding on to fewer lashes. It put more tension on more of my lashes. And as the sides of those lashes started to pull up, doing things like cleaning my eyes at the end of the night, which by the way, I go in with face halos to really make sure I get a good clean on my lid as well as my lash line. But this action right here, this side to side thing, you can't do that as you get farther into this 10-day process, because once those edges lift, this material will get caught on that edge and it's I'll show you the result of that on an old lash if you can stomach it. I mean, it's not graphic. It's just one of those things that is not comfortable. But that lifting was the beginning of the undoing of my first set of lashes, and it wouldn't have been a big deal if I'd had the remover, but because I didn't, I was just stuck with these lashes kind of slowly lifting on either. I just had to be a lot more delicate with them. And as more and more lashes kind of broke free from the adhesive, again, it put more strain on the lashes that were still attached, and that wasn't always a pleasant process. So long story short, the major learning I have from this, because I do recommend these lashes, but if you get the set, don't go with the set that they advertise with the most, which is, I think it's the $30 or $35 set with this individual set of lashes and the tweezers and the glue. Go for this set, which is $45, where they give you 3 sets of a lash. They give you the glue and the little red stopper to go on top of it to kind of open it up. And then they also give you the remover to go along with it. I think spending that extra $10 to get the remover as well as 2 other sets of lashes, I think that's a better deal in my opinion, because this is an okay sort of tweezer situation. I don't find them any better than like your average set of tweezers. I think if you really had to get by, you could get by with a regular set of tweezers. What you can't get by without is the remover. So while we're on it, let's go ahead and talk about this gel. So this comes in a little pot. It is a clear, odorless little gel. You take a Q-tip and you just get a little bit on that Q-tip and you start running it along the underside of your lashes. You want to make sure, obviously, not to get this or the adhesive in your eye. Quick note about the adhesive as well. They do say you don't want these lashes to touch your skin. I'm assuming because it dries down the way that it does, attaching it to like your lash line directly would be pretty painful. So you do want to have a little bit of a margin away from your skin, your actual lash line where you place these lashes. That is kind of a tricky part without being able to see, where you're placing those lashes on top. But eventually I think you get the hang of it. I do think it's a little bit harder than placing them underneath your lash. For whatever reason, that was a very easy process for me, and over the top's a little bit harder, but I do think you get the hang of it. So likewise for this gel, you really want to keep it away from your waterline and you want to put it on the underside of your lashes. Then you wait 2 minutes and the lashes should, you can be able to gently pull them off. You shouldn't feel any tension or tugging on your natural lashes. And if that's not the case, you put another layer on, you let them sit for another 2 minutes. I found, just to err on the side of caution, I put this on for like 10 minutes. It does sting if it gets into your eyes. Like a few times I was finding like the lashes that were really stuck and I'd really layer it up. Naturally, a little bit just got into my eyes and it does sting. It's not pleasant, but ultimately within less than 20 minutes, all my lashes were easily off. If you have any extra glue that is stuck to them, just take a little bit more of that and set it on top, leave it there for a little bit, and you'll actually see that adhesive dissolving and coming off, like the pigment of it on your Q-tips, and so you'll know it's actively dissolving as you see it coming off on your Q-tip as you're kind of rubbing that area. So super simple removal process. You just have to get the remover. Otherwise, it will not be so painless. The only other things I can think to talk about are the products that I don't have experience with. The cleanser that they recommend, the foaming cleanser they sell that you can prep your lashes with. I haven't experienced any issues with lasting power based on the cleanser that I used. I think as long as it's not oil-based and there's no residue on your lashes, these are going to stick with you just fine, just given how this adhesive dries. Then the other thing they sell is that mist that they say you're supposed to spray on your lashes after you're done applying them. It helps them set faster and last longer. I really didn't need any help in the lasting longer department. I mean, these ended up lasting me 12 days. 2 days too long without remover, in my opinion, but I did not have issues with the lasting power. And as far as cure time, or like how long it took the glue to dry, it was dry and I was applying makeup, 15 minutes after I had applied them, and that was to be on the safe side. So I don't really think you need the mist, but I also haven't tried it. So if you have and you love it, let us know down in the comments below. I think it's everything I wanted to talk about here. Overall, I really recommend it. This is actually my favorite semi-permanent, I guess you could call it, lash system out there. Like I said, I've tried Lashify. I will link that video if you want to go check it out down in the comments. And I also, quick blurb about this, have tried the Kiss Falscara. Technically, that is not supposed to last longer than a day. The instructions say so, but I had a lot of requests from you guys asking me if I would give them a try and see if I could get them to last longer than a day. And the short answer is no. I didn't have a great experience with them. They did do their job in that they, gave me the appearance of false lashes in exactly the same way that a system like Lashify does. Step by step, you apply your adhesive, you stick your lashes up you stick the falsies up under your lashes, and they're cut up into little sections. And I think they might have a sealant that goes along with them, but the lash bands themselves are very thick and uncomfortable, and in part what contributed to them not lasting quite as long, just that lack of flexibility. They flew off really easily, and the adhesive wasn't as strong, which makes sense because they're not meant to last more than 24 hours according to their own directions. So I did try it. They're not bad. They do what they say they're going to do, but if I'm going to go to all that effort, I want them to last for multiple days, which is why, and without having to worry about them, moving around and having to resituate them, staying tacky or sticky or anything like that, which is why I prefer the Moitié system the most. So I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you were interested in something like this, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.